Hello, my friend on the internet. This is going to be a simple, basic video. Now, I know the mic might be a bit quiet, but I want this video to be very not stimulating. You may be tempted to click off, but for a few minutes, I just want you to hear me out. And maybe we can give you some time back in your life, and maybe we can adjust the path that you're on to be the one you actually want to go on. All right, so first things first. Attention, your attention is increasingly being algorithmically controlled. Um, this is from social media mainly, but it's also from other forms of media that just need you there for them to make money. Now, money's not a bad thing, not at all. Maybe the love of money is the bad part, but money itself is not a bad thing. However, it is and has become a problem that the incentives of making money for many platforms, including the one you're watching this on right now, are more incentivized for screen time than lifetime. What that means for you is there's more incentive to take up your lifespan and your life force and your lifetime than there is for it to give it back, for to free you and to get you off of the thing that you're using, especially when it comes to YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever else is social and keeps you hooked, or even if it's not social. Now, I've been making an app for the last 210 days, 11 days now, to try to curb this. But before I tell you anything about that, I want to get down to the things that are simple, that can be put into place into action today, and may help you after watching this video. So, now that we know your attention, it has been commoditized, it is somewhat of a commodity to these companies, or it has to be treated as such to make more money, we can go forward. First things first, if you want to escape this endless vicious cycle of being hooked back in and again to these attention taking things, you have to know one key thing. And that is going to be very different for you and me. The key thing that you will need to know is what you want out of life. I know that is a very big question, but I'm gonna help you break it down so it's not so scary. If you haven't asked this to yourself in a while, now's a great time to do that. Because if you do end up figuring out what you want out of life, it makes it way easier to keep going. It makes it way easier to shut off your phone, to be mindful that this thing in my hand is not getting me to where I want to go. Therefore, you can put it down. Now, it's not always that simple, it's not always that easy. Even when you know where you want to go, there is still engineers on the other side of that screen who are paid handsomely, very handsomely, to keep you there. So, it's not a one time, one and done. I figured out what I want to do with my life and what I want out of it, and I'm solved and I'm cured. It's not like that. Truth is, nothing is like that. So don't be scared, don't be worried. It's okay. Okay? Take a breath. It's okay. So, how do you get your attention back? How do you claim the hours back of your life to go to where you really want to go? Well, the first step is actually counterintuitive. You do nothing. And what I mean by do nothing is genuinely you do nothing. You sit there and you let your brain run wild. And it is going to drive you wild. It's going to drive you crazy because it doesn't feel good if you have all this information coming into your head for the last decade, probably maybe 5, 10 years of scrolling, of going on social media, of being hooked to these applications that are only getting better. You have to process through a lot of information, like hundreds of newspapers a day stacked over years. You have to let that go. You have to let your brain sort through that. And obviously, it hasn't stored everything, but it's stored a lot of it. So to get through that, it's uncomfortable because you haven't done it recently. And a lot of people call this meditation, doing nothing, sitting there with your thoughts. Meditation has a kind of a bad rep, but it's very helpful. And if you don't want to call it meditation, don't. I call it taking quiet time. So every morning I sit down and I take some time to myself to just be quiet. Now, maybe there's noises around you. That's okay. Just focus on you being quiet and whatever's going up on your head. Or focus on your breath. That's even easier. I count to three or count to six. One, inhale, two, exhale, and then repeat up to six and restart. Usually I forget it that I'm counting my breath and I lose track, but that's okay because I'm sorting through all this information that has came into me for the last 5, 10 years of me using these apps that are only getting better at keeping me on them and keeping me hooked and keeping me distracted from what I really want out of life. So, how do you use this? How does focusing on your breath help you find what you want out of life? Well, first things first, you have to get rid of the clutter. If you want to find something you're interested in enough, something you want to do with your life, you have to get rid of the clutter. You have to clear up your mind. And this is the best way that I know how to do that. There's probably other ways, going to the gym, maybe going on a walk outside. These are also great methods. Walk outside without music, by the way. Yeah, it's boring. The boring things are actually very, very therapeutic because they let you rest, really rest. Not just, I'm tired, I'm going to scroll, but really rest. They let your brain feel unstimulated and lets your brain process all the things that have been coming in for the last decade. Now, once you're bored, there's this cool thing that happens, and I call it a curiosity intake. It opens up. So the intake for your curiosities, the things you're really interested in, the things you'd actually want to learn about, it only really opens up if you allow yourself to be bored enough. Now, I'm not saying this is a magical pill that just comes in, plops into your head, and tells you all the answers. It's not that. It's something different. But if you can allow yourself to be bored, then this curiosity intake will open up. And what this does and how it helps you is it gives you something that you can question and dive into deeper that is organically from your own head. So you're going to want to learn about it and not just fed to you by an algorithm. And this is actually a very strong motivator to go learn, to go take action, and ultimately to figure out what you want out of life. Because you're not going to just figure it out by sitting and doing nothing necessarily. You're going to figure it out more and more as you introspect and look back on what you did and didn't like. And then you can figure out what you want in totality. And maybe when you decide what you want, it changes. That is okay. That is okay. It can change every day. It's okay. But as long as you can define something that you want, go and try to get it, and be interested enough and have fun in the process, make it enjoyable, it's okay. You're going to scroll less. You're going to go on TikTok less. You're going to be more inclined to follow this curiosity than anything else, which is the goal. It's to follow your curiosity. And I know that sounds boring. You're asking me what it means, and I just told you. Uh, And honestly, it's not simple. Like, it is simple, but it's not easy. Like, to sit, it's not fun to sit with your eyes closed, maybe, when you're used to just consuming, consuming, consuming. And I get that. But if you want a real answer, this is what I would give. Now, it's okay if you don't want to do this right now. But know that if you're feeling trapped, if you're feeling stuck in this endless loop of content, that it is weighed against you. It's weighed against your weaknesses as a human being. So, if you want to fight back, the best way to do that as an individual is to let your brain rest, genuinely rest, right? Don't overstimulate it too often and let that curiosity intake open up so you can really discover what you want out of life. Now, I myself introspect on that question quite often. Um, and ultimately, I think most of us want the same thing. We want to be happy. So, when you decide what you want out of life, decide also why you want that. What is the primal emotion that that is going to bring to you? Maybe it's happiness, maybe it's love, maybe it's a fear from something else. Maybe it's fear that you won't get this. What is the primal emotion that this life result brings you? and focus on that primal emotion more when you're doing the things that get you there. And soon enough, the back of your head will focus not on the TikToks that just watch, not on the things going all around you in the news, but whatever really matters to you as a primal factor: happiness, love, fear, avoiding that fear. So that's my answer for today. To sum it up, if you want to gain your attention back, if you want, oh, what the, if you want to feel not so overwhelmed all the time and get back on the path that you really want for yourself, which you can decide and you can change, if you want to do those things, allow yourself to be bored, understimulated, or just not overstimulated. And then take some breaths, make it a daily routine to let yourself genuinely rest. Doesn't have to be meditation, doesn't have to be sitting alone. You can go on a walk without music, outside preferably. Or you can go to the gym without music. Just allow your brain to rest for a minute, for 10 minutes, and then let the curiosity intake open up. What that does is it means you'll find things you're genuinely interested about learning. Learn those things. Go into those rabbit holes deeply as you can. Because on the other side of that is what you want out of life, and you can figure that out by asking yourself the question often and then allowing yourself to actually have time to rest so your brain can think about it. That's all I have for you guys today. Hope this helps somebody. And shout out to my friend Josh for making a bunch of humanizing content on the internet. I'm going to leave his channel link below. But maybe click that tomorrow. Get off this for now. It's up to you, though. Hope you have a great day. Check out the links down in the description. I'm also building an app to end doom scrolling. Maybe it will help you find what you're curious about. At least that is the goal. All right. I love you guys. Take care. Peace. You got this. Keep going.